All right, so today we're going to talk about something pretty different. It's this online platform called the Big Island Reporter. And trust me, it's not what you think. To really get what's going on with it, we're going to have to peel it back like an onion, layer by layer.
When you first click on it, everything looks pretty normal. You get that Hawaii vibe, you see some news headlines, standard stuff, right? But if you hang around for just a little bit, you start to realize this place is weird, like really weird. It's like a local news site, a super advanced AI playground, and a stage for some seriously wild ideas all mashed together. It's a crazy combination, so let's jump in and see what we can find.
So where do we even start with a site like this? Well, probably with how it presents itself, right? Let's look at its mission statement.
Okay, so right away, you can tell these guys are thinking big. The founder, a guy named Mark Wood, he's not just aiming to be a news site. Nope, he wants to be Hawaii's best news web portal. Bold claim, but this is where it gets different. The mission is to find the truth by looking at news from every possible angle. Left, right, center, and then up or down. Wait, what? Up or down? What does that even mean in the context of news? And that right there is our first big hint that this is not your typical news site.
But for all that high-minded, kind of strange mission stuff, the site is also incredibly local. I mean, it is so deeply connected to Hawaii. It feels like its local identity is just as crucial as the news itself.
Yeah, it's really more than just a news portal. It's like a love letter to the islands. You're not just scanning headlines, you're on this visual trip. You'll see these breathtaking shots of volcanoes, and then right next to that, you're reading about the cultural importance of hula, or maybe even the amazing local food. It really pulls you in.
And it gets super specific, which I think is what makes it feel so real. It's not just generic local business stuff. They're shouting out actual places by name, like the Dixon 76 gas station in Kona. They're featuring real estate from actual realtors. It's all about the day-to-day, tangible stuff that makes you feel like you're right there. That's what keeps the whole thing grounded.
Okay, so we're all in on the local Hawaii vibe, right? We get it. But just when you're settled in with that aloha spirit, bam! The site just completely changes gears. It swerves hard into the world of high tech, and I'm talking really hard. It's a sudden, almost jarring jump into bleeding-edge AI. Seriously, it's like two totally separate websites got smashed together. And this isn't just, a couple of blog posts about AI. Oh, no. The site is a full-on showcase for some really sophisticated tech. For example, they feature this service called Enigma. It's pitched as the future of AI, and the concept is actually pretty brilliant. Instead of choosing just one AI like ChatGPT or Claude, why not get access to all of them, all the big names, under one subscription? Pretty cool idea.
And it keeps going. They have another tool, NewsCord, that's designed to summarize news stories for you. There's a custom AI assistant right there on the site that you can chat with. They're even using AI to generate some of their articles and images. See what I mean? This isn't some surface-level gimmick. AI is literally built into the foundation of this website.
And if you're still not convinced they're serious about tech, just look at who they're promoting. They're pushing content from Andreessen Horowitz, that's A16Z to people in the know, one of the absolute biggest names in Silicon Valley venture capital. We're talking about a firm that shapes the future of technology. So by aligning with them, the Big Island Reporter is doing more than just local news. It's positioning itself as part of this huge global conversation about where AI is headed.
So you're thinking, okay, I get it. It's a weird mix of local Hawaii news and high-tech AI, right? Wrong. Just when you think you've pinned it down, it throws another curveball. There's a third layer to this thing. And folks, this is where it gets really, really strange. We're about to dive into content that's visionary, artistic, and honestly, pretty cryptic.
And I'm not kidding when I say strange. One of the ideas that pops up on the site is this concept called the United States of Africa. And the whole idea behind it is, well, it's definitely not something you'd expect to stumble upon when you're looking for news about Hawaii.
The details here are just as out there as the name. So get this. The site says the idea comes from a secret society. The plan is to create one single nation that stretches all the way from Ohio to Cape Town, South Africa. This massive new country would be linked by a solar-powered trans-highway. And the goal isn't small either. They want to end starvation and wars. Oh, and the deadline to get all this done? Christmas Day 2026. Yeah, we're definitely not talking about Kona real estate anymore, are we?
And the site just keeps making these fascinating, almost random connections. Like, check this out. It's promoting a musical collaboration. On one side, you've got a local recording artist from Hawaii, Blue Turban Stone, and on the other, an inventor from Georgia who created a crazy-looking double-sided guitar. It's just another one of those moments where the site bridges the hyper-local Hawaiian scene with something totally unique and innovative from halfway across the world. It's not all grand, world-changing plans either. Sprinkled all over the site, you find these little poetic, philosophical nuggets. Stuff that's kind of cryptic, really lyrical, and it gives the whole place this, I don't know, almost mystical feel. It's just one more piece of the puzzle that makes you scratch your head and wonder what's going on.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably asking the same thing I was. How in the world does a site this weird actually make money? So let's pull back the curtain and look at the business side of things.
We all know ad blockers are everywhere now, right? It's a huge problem for anyone trying to advertise online. Well, the Big Island Reporter has this really clever little hack. They build their ads as Google Docs presentations. Why would they do that? Well, because most ad blockers are looking for specific ad code. They don't even see a Google Doc as an ad. It's a super simple but really smart way to get around a massive industry problem.
And they're totally upfront about what they charge for these ads. They just post the rates right there on the site, old and new. And they've got a pretty good deal going. Pay for 1 year of advertising and they'll give you the second year for free. It's very straightforward, no nonsense. And hey, it seems to be working.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got this deep, local Hawaiian vibe. We've got cutting-edge AI technology. We've got these wild, visionary concepts. And we've got a clever business model holding it all together. So, what does it all add up to? What is this thing really? When you zoom out a little, you can start to see the shape of it. The Big Island Reporter isn't just one of those things. It's all three at the same time. You could almost say it stands on three pillars. First, it's deeply local, rooted in Hawaiian culture. Second, it's globally advanced, totally plugged into the future of tech. And third, it's abstract and visionary. It has this artistic soul that isn't afraid to be a little strange.
And this brings us full circle, right back to that mission statement we talked about at the beginning. Remember that weird part, up or down? At first, it sounded like nonsense, but now it starts to make sense. It's not just a random phrase, it's the whole point. They're saying that to get the real truth, you can't just look left and right on the political spectrum. You also have to look up to the future, to big ideas, and maybe down into the artistic, the philosophical, the stuff that just doesn't fit into our neat little boxes.
So in the end, this whole thing leaves us with a really big question, and it goes way beyond just this one website. We're all drowning in information every single day. So what does it actually mean to be informed anymore? Is it just about knowing what's happening on the ground in your community? Or do you also need to engage with the weird, the visionary, the ideas that completely challenge what you think news is even supposed to be? The Big Island Reporter certainly doesn't give us an easy answer, but man, is it asking one heck of an interesting question.